the African Zimbabwe shrimp. They're like $1,000 for like a 30-gallon drum of them. It's super expensive.
Alright.
See, they never see the sun.
Mm.
They smell like boiled garlic mixed with salt and then melted.
Don't disrespect garlic like that.
Garlic sucks.
What do you mean?
Unless it's on pizza.
Suck.
Pizza
No,
or
garlic.
celery.
Garlic is delicious.
Garlic sucks. Unless it's on celery. Or like some kind of fruit.
Did you just say fruit?
Yeah, you know what goes good? If you mix garlic, which is also a fruit, I should say, and then kiwis. That's a really good combo. And they grow on the same tree. It's insane.
Alright. You know garlic grows in the ground, right?
You see, that's what the government wants you.
What do you mean?
That's what the government wants you to think.
No, have you ever grown garlic before?
I never grew garlic.
It grows in the ground and it comes out of the ground. Directly.
Just like a seed that makes a tree.
I mean, garlic is technically a vegetable.
It's a fruit. It's got a seed.
It's the seed itself.
Everything's a seed itself.
Hmm.
We're a seed. If you plant us, we make grass.
No. That's just we're more or less fertilizer. We're not a seed.
Same
You
thing.
don't put us in the no, you don't put us in the ground and then a human tree comes out and it grows humans.
Same thing with money. I mean, money's made of cotton, and if it's not made of cotton, it's made of wood. So, yeah, they both come from the ground. They're both trees. So money's a tree. Money grows
You
on
just
trees.
said cotton's a tree.
Yeah, cotton comes from trees,
Comes from a bush.
which is a small tree. A bush is a small tree.
I guess, but not really.
You see something like a leaf sticking out of the ground. That's just a seepling. They call those seeplings.
Uh,
But like a bush or something that theoretically has a 3 or more centimeter diameter and width of the trunk is preferred a tree.
I think my brain just collapsed. Oh.
It's kind of like turtles. You know,
No,
they're like a seed. You know, they lay the egg in the sand. A tadpole comes out of the egg, it swims into the ocean, it turns into a
I'm sorry,
frog.
what? What? You went from turtle to tadpole.
No,
Frog.
but a frog is like part of the lifespan of a turtle. It goes from shell.
You, you even realize how ridiculous that is.
It isn't. It's just straight facts. The government just doesn't want you to know it because they want to see how much control and how much stuff they can get you to believe. But
So-
it goes from an egg in the ground in the sand. The tadpole like shimmies its way into the ocean, turns into a frog. The frog grows a shell, and it turns into a turtle.
How does a tadpole go from sand to water?
Slithers.
They don't.
That's why they're round.
There's,
They roll.
they don't have enough. They don't really have lungs that are developed for any period of time outside water.
They hold their breath. They don't breathe the second they get out. They breathe like 2 days
No,
after they're born.
but when you're talking about sea turtles laying eggs in the sand, you're talking several yards away from the water.
They make their way. They get there somehow.
They don't.
Bubba, they hatch at high tide.
Okay. You know what's weird? Turtles hatch little baby turtles, not tadpoles.
That's only like Virginian turtles. That's not
Only in Virginia.
that's not sea and ocean turtles. Now if you're talking about river turtles,
There's no river.
those things just hatch frogs. But that's because it's a
Don't
river.
think-
It's like polluted water.
So, not only is there sea turtles, but there's also ocean turtles and river turtles.
Right, ocean and sea is the same exact thing.
Is what you're telling me.
The only reason why sea is a word is because it fits better on the map than ocean.
What do you call a body of water that's not the size of it?
Of a what? Your mic cut out.
So, like, when you take two bodies of water, like the Pacific and the Atlantic, those are oceans. When you have a body of water significantly smaller than that, but not quite the size of like a pond or a lake, it's a sea.
That's the Arctic.
No, it's the Arctic Ocean,
Yeah,
not the Arctic. It's not the Arctic Sea.
but the seas make up the oceans. It's the Pacific
if you-
Sea, the Atlantic Sea, the Indian Sea, to make the Arctic Ocean.
No.
But underneath the water, underneath the ocean, I should say, there's like a farm of trees, and they make the oxygen for the fish.
How far underneath the water?
Several thousand feet. And then like cause of the weight, because of the weight of the water, it like holds the air down for the fish. But since the world's gonna end, it's because that little bubble is gonna it's slowly getting bigger and bigger, because there's more trees that are growing down there because the ground's so fertile, because it's waterized.
It's salt water.
It'll work. Sodium, it works.
No.
Have you ever grown a tree with sodium?
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I dug a hole in the ground, got a piece of salt out of the ground, and stuck it in the side of the plant. The thing turned into a beast.
So, you understand that there's parts of water that are deeper than several thousand feet, right?
Several thousand feet can be several thousand feet. 2 million feet.
No. You said several thousand. That
All right.
means it ranges.
The Mariana Trench is
Uh-huh.
2,427,000 feet deep.
It's. Okay.
2,427 million feet deep.
No, that's not that deep.
That's 32 miles deep.
It's not a million feet, though.
Depends what kind of foot you're talking. There's metric, there's standard, there's Pacific, there's Eastern, there's Western. There's there's a million different types of feet that you could be talking about.
I don't know about that one. Mariana's. Mariana
Marry, Iana, Iona, trench, Trenches.
Depth.
It was actually called the
It is.
Mariana Tennis before it the trench. Because
It's only 36,000 feet.
that's what I said.
It's almost 7 miles.
Then we're thinking of the Galapagos Trench.
The it's not as deep as that though.
39 feet?
That's not much of a trench.
It's a trench for me.
Anyways,
We had a trench
so there's
form
these.
in our pond. There's a whole trench in there. It's like 9 feet deep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our fish
How'd
tank?
that happen?
That thing has a trench.
Do your fish like to bury themselves?
Nah, just an earthquake.
Fish tank.
Yeah.
I didn't know that your fish tank had Teutonic plagues.
Well, it's kind of a procedure for the fish. Because the plates rub together and create heat. So it keeps the water like the optimum operating temperature for them.
Right. Right.
It's not like the water. Like the water also rubs together like the particles, like the H and the 2O. Those rub together and create friction. But we're not talking about that right now.
Good. Good. I'm not even. I don't even know what to say.
It's mind blowing, right?
Yeah, it really is. It really wants me to blow my brains out.
So like, I don't know how octopus are born. I'm pretty sure they're like buried in the sand, and
No.
then like seagulls come by and like drop them off in the ocean.
Why would they bury their eggs in the sand?
To
And
keep
then the
them warm
eagles. No.
and safe.
Octopuses, they just lay. They have eggs on the surface of water. And then they have sperm. They have, they'll have a bunch of an orgy essentially, and they'll all the eggs will be fertilized, and after a certain period of time, all the eggs will hatch, and a bunch of squids will be formed in a long area. Well, octopuses, that's how squids are. I think octopi, it's something similar, but it's less orgy-based and more. It's just a couple, like a female octopi will make a couple eggs, and then male will fertilize them.
Mm.
And they're like actual eggs. They're not like the, thin meniscus little gooey things.
Like the ones
They're
that
like
the
orgies.
sea turtles plant. Like they plant them in the sand, they bury it up, and then
No.
tadpoles come out.
No.
But like
You can't just. No, you
they're
can't
born
have.
they're born with arms for a reason.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are. They got a tail too.
Yeah, but tadpoles, when they first come out, they're just a little tiny bead with a little tail.
Still, they could
They can't
they could
go
slither their way.
No.
Yeah.
You know how small tadpoles are.
Yeah, we used to have a farm for them, but a bunch of prairie dogs came up and ate them.
They tadpoles.
Yeah, all of them.
Oh, so sorry.
It was a long time ago, but
Right.
we got dragons, and then they died.
And I never. Okay. How could you have dragons die?
Cause this was like when I met Jesus Christ.
Oh, right. I forgot you're several millennia years old.
Yeah. But
So when you met Jesus, you tamed dragons.
basically,
Okay.
it was kind of like Pokemon. You threw like an egg out, and they just kind of followed it, and kept following it, and like it kept rolling because the gravitational pull wasn't set up correctly yet. So like Earth kept falling and stuff. Which brings me on to my next topic. You should stop breathing. Like we should try to preserve our oxygen because the CO2 is weighing down the Earth and it's gonna make us fall out of our atmosphere.
Fall out of our atmosphere?
Yeah, it's gonna make us fall out of space. Cause our
Fall
CO2 is weighing
where?
out
Fall
of,
where?
out of space. And in another space.
You- This is. You understand that how many CO2 particles? How many CO2 particles there are? It doesn't. The weight is not really affected on the Earth.
I haven't checked my counter, but I could check it in like a day or two. I'll have to go up
Yeah.
and see it. But
When you put weight on Earth, it does not affect its gravitational pull with the sun.
it could.
No, it cannot, unless it is an insurmountable amount of force
Well, we still
pushing
don't want to
against
fall
Earth. Where are we gonna fall?
down or up.
What do you mean? What do you mean down or up?
We're gonna fall towards the sun because
How?
because the sun controls the atmosphere, but
No.
like the meteors and stuff, they get sucked in the sun and like contain it so that we don't get sucked in the sun. That's why like sometimes asteroids fall like around our house and stuff. And like you were with us last time asteroids were falling. Like the wind in the space blew the asteroid belt towards us, and like a little bit of it fell in. But yeah, we just gotta stop. Like we just gotta start breathing less. Like no working out. Just take a deep breath, hold your breath, and then breathe out.
I'm pretty sure my brain has reached the same consistency of yogurt.
Well, actually, I don't know.
What you just uttered from your mouth is perhaps one of the most disturbingly, horrifically inaccurate statements I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, it's not that inaccurate. We just don't want to fall in the sun. Because the wind in space.
There's no wind in space.
Yes, there is.
How is there wind in space?
Well, it just has to be up there to start moving.
How? No, that doesn't answer my question. How is there wind in space?
It just. Like wind's supposed to blow around the world because the Earth is spinning and like all the other planets are spinning, so it creates a current like a little whirlpool, and sometimes it'll just like bounce off an asteroid and just go in one direction.
How is there wind if there's no air?
Because there's CO2.
There's nothing in space, Caden.
Yes, there is.
No, there isn't.
It's not breathable,
It's
but it's
literally
there.
there's nothing there.
There's CO2.
The absence of space.
Yeah. At least our space.
Oh my god. You go into space, there's no air, there's nothing. It's just gravity.
In space.
But even then, in space, well, there's nothing in space.
And why is there gravity in space? Because there's CO2 there to pull
Because
the
we're
gravity down.
no.
Yeah.
So you have a gravitational pull. Granted, it's small. You have a gravitational pull towards whatever.
So you just said that there's gravity in space. Now, which way
Yes.
does space fall?
What?
If you throw like a yellow beach ball in space, which way would it fall?
Whatever you pushed it towards.
But the gravity would pull it down.
Well, it depends how close you are to an object in space.
Bubba, it's a trick question.
Like,
Where does gravity take you? It takes you up. The ball would fall up.
uh,
See, on
it depends
Earth,
how close you are to planet or moon or whatever body
we
has
have
a force of gravity.
3 times the amount of gravity on Earth than there is on the sun.
What?
So
If
how
we did, we'd all be dead.
no, this is how it works.
We would all turn into liquid.
No, not really. But
No, yeah, we would be liquefied. If we had 3 times the gravity as the sun, our atoms would be smoldered by the sheer amount of gravitational force.
not really. That's just why the Earth's compressed. We're just too light to get compressed. But basically, gravity pushes down on Earth, and those forces act in an opposite to push back, and they also act in an opposite once they hit the edge of the atmosphere. So they push back again, and then it pushes back again, and then it pushes back again, which pushes us downwards. That's why the sun has an uneven amount of pushback, and that's why it radiates heat towards us. So that's why the heat falls off the sun and onto us. Because we have a positive gravitational pushback.
I, I don't even know what to say.
It's crazy, right? No one would have
Yeah,
ever
it's-
guessed.
It's crazy, alright. It's something.
And like, because all the planets all like line up, that like resets the clock. Like if you look at it, and like the moon is like the quick little thingy on the clock, the quick little hand.
The minute hand?
The second hand.
Oh, okay. So we're talking about a 3-handed clock.
Now we're talking about a minute hand. So
Okay.
you have the sun in the middle, because that's the center of the galaxy. You have Earth as the hour, and the moon. Wait, no, it's backwards. Earth is the minute, and the moon is the hour. That's why we only see the Earth every 24 hours.
When uh, did you say see the Earth every 24 hours?
Yeah. Like the moon,
How can you see it if you're on it?
because the moon's reflective, and it also has a negative gravitational thrust pull, so it pushes reflection back at us. So when you look at the moon, you see the Earth, just in a different format and color because of the distance and the asteroid belt and the wind pushing the heat waves.
Right.
See how much you learn when you talk to me?
Yeah, I learned. Be sure I have my brain is coming out of my anus.
Well, actually, it's not connected.
Anyways, so tomorrow, are
Tomorrow?
you going to be chauffeuring?
Am I gonna be what?
Chauffeuring?
Chauffeuring? Oh,
Are you
for
going
a
to be the
ride?
ride?
In the morning?
Yeah, in the morning.
If you want me to.
I mean, I don't care. I ride the bus, but if you're doing it again, then if you are, then you're gonna have to pick me up earlier because my bus comes like 5 after 8.
5 after 8, okay. I'll probably get you first then at like 8 o'clock.
Okay.
And then we'll go up and then get Delana if she asks me. And then if she doesn't ask me, then, which I doubt she won't, then we'll go to to Dick Monald's, and I might have to pull some money out of the moon, but other than that, I think we'll be good. Get food there, and then go to the school.
Okay. Just text me if you are or not.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna go to bed because my brain is in pain.
Why is it in pain? Oh, is it because you just learned a
I
bunch of
don't know.
stuff?
Maybe I was talking to an actual living example of a Homo erectus.
That's not even a thing. I mean, it is a thing, but it's not a thing. Like, a Homo erectus is... It's the embryo of an ant.
I'm sorry.
It's the embryo of an ant. That's a Homo erectus. Like, embryos form...
Oh, I know what you're saying.
They like form multiple types of like grains, like grain for wine, grain for bread, grain for chips. That's why Crom found ants in his chips, because they form the same thing. They just got mixed up during sexual reproduction.
Oh my god. I'm gonna go to bed.
Okay.
I'll see you in the morning, kid.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.